Well, hello everyone. My name is Vivian Stewart, and I am one of your librarians at Southwest. Now, my task today is to go over a library instruction as if I was really in the classroom. So, the title of this is VCE, which is Virtual Classroom Experience, preparing for a research paper or for a speech. This session will last about 35 minutes, and I suggest that when you watch it later, make sure that you place it in full screen view for the best showing possible. So let's start off by taking a look at the library's homepage to make sure that you're able to navigate around it later on. At the very top, it says Welcome to the InfoNet Library. The next thing that you'll notice is a collage of photos from our different campus locations, followed by any announcements. And of course, there's an announcement that we're closed to the public, but online library assistance is available through Ask a Librarian, followed by our mission statement and what we're trying to accomplish throughout the school year. Next, you'll see our most prominent or most used pages. We have our databases, which is alternatives to using popular search engines. Course reserves is where you would go if you were trying to find out if one of our locations had a copy of a textbook that you could use for a 2 hour period. Reserve a study room is available for any students who would like to book a study room at one of the campus locations for 3 hours. We have various forms that are available for us to gather feedback and also forms that allow you to request information and other services. CyberCat is our online catalog to find Southwest resources, and WorldCat is a global catalog which allows you to search for holdings at locations around the world. Over to the right-hand side, it says Instant Message Us, and right now there is a librarian that is online and awaiting to answer any incoming chat messages. When we are not online, you have the ability to send us an email. There's a category that says Links. Featured resource would allow you to view the addition of any new materials that we have received. And if you're interested to see which location would have these particular items, you would just simply click on the image to see that information. Over to the left-hand side, we have our widgets. So there's a widget that says Ask a Librarian. So we have about 9 different ways that you can get assistance from us. We do have our own YouTube channel where we have created videos and placed them there so that you can watch videos to learn how to use our resources. The 360 virtual tour will allow you to view the interior of our different locations. The library webinars page will allow you to see other sessions that are scheduled similar to this one. So if by chance your schedule allows, you will join us for other sessions. We have a social media presence on Facebook. Branch hours and info will not only give you operational hours, but it will also give you a listing of staff members at each location. And report a problem is where you would go if you are experiencing technical issues. This will alert us so that we can take care of that in a timely manner. As I scroll up under links, I am going now to library services. From library services, I am selecting circulation services, and there are 3 things I want to discuss quickly. Under checkout procedure, I want you to know that your college ID is required to check out materials from us. Now, whether this is coming in, checking out a book to take home, checking out a textbook to use in the library, or checking out some of our equipment like an iPad or a tablet to go anywhere in the library and use it. It is also a campus policy that you're supposed to have your college ID on you at all times. So I want you to keep that in mind that this is a policy. As I scroll down under borrowing use agreements, we maintain partnerships with each of the schools that are listed here. So as a Southwest student, you can go to these different locations and use their resources. You need to be aware of what your limitations are. Now, of course, your college ID is required. So if you decided you wanted to visit Christian Brothers University, which is a Category A school, they will allow you to borrow materials from them. Now, when it comes to using their computers, there may be limitations on that. So I suggest that you just inquire whenever you go. If you decided you wanted to visit a Category D school, like the U of M Cecil C. Humphrey School of Law. Of course, your college ID is required. They will allow you to use the resources in-house only. You cannot take anything out. So what I need you to be aware of is that we make no promises that we will have everything that you need while you are a student. But we partner with other schools to make sure that you would have access if you're flexible to travel to these locations. The last thing is down near the bottom, which are rules of conduct. What is expected from anyone who visits one of our facilities? We ask that everyone monitor their noise level because the library is a place where students should be able to come and study without a loss of distractions. Number two says do not bring in food or beverages, but I want you to know that at the Bourne Bloom Library on the Macon Cove campus, we have the Cyber Cafe, and that is a place where students can go and eat and drink small items and then come back out into the library. Number three says do not misuse library property. So all we're asking is that you be respectful. So when you come in, please don't put your feet up in the chairs. Please don't sit on the tables. Please don't write on our property. Please don't come in between your classes and decide to lie down and take a nap in the lounge area. Simply be respectful. The last one asks you to place your cell phones on vibrate and long conversations are not allowed. Now, this is not saying that you can't use cell phones because you can. I need you to be mindful of item number one, monitoring the noise level. Because we have seen recently that students like to talk hands free, so they place their phones on speaker so that everyone can hear their conversations. Or the students that like to FaceTime other people. Those are situations that is very distracting. So if you will step outside, finish your conversations, and then come back in. You may want to revisit this page later on to find out about loan periods and other things. I am going back to the previous page, and you may want to look at off campus and frequently asked questions. Back at the library's homepage, I am moving on to the second thing on my list of five, which is searching for information using our databases. On our databases page, it says this is where you will locate ebooks, multimedia items, journal, and magazine articles. Now, because we are working remotely, a Southwest username and password is required for remote access. So if you don't remember your password or if your password has expired, I suggest that you reach out to a library staff member or the help desk to help you with that. If by chance your instructor has given you a specific title of a database to use and you're not sure where it can be found, I suggest that you visit this A to Z resource page. Now on the databases page, you'll see we have an alphabetical listing of broad headings that starts with biographies and it goes all the way down to science. So depending on what type of information you're looking for, you expand the category to see what is listed. Now, for some students, when it comes to preparing for a speech or writing a research paper, coming up with a topic is the hardest thing. So we're going to start off by looking at databases that will help you with that. I am expanding current events. And under current events, I have two categories. I have databases, which are the paid subscriptions we're maintaining. And then I have recommended websites that I think are appropriate for this heading. The first place I am going is Points of View. And of course, I'm working remotely, so now I need to log in with my Southwest credentials. Now, of course, when we are logged in to this session, we will not have to go through this process again. But of course, if I leave and come back within an hour, I will have to go through the process again. Points of View is the type of database that will provide you with the pros and the cons of a certain topic. So you may want to look at what's trending in the news now. You may want to look at what's the spotlights for the particular month and look at what's in the news listed here. Where we have browse by category, I am selecting show all, which will now give me a listing of over 300 possible topics. So if I was interested in paying college athletes, not only can I select my topic here, but I can gather information also. It starts off with an essay, which provides me with an overview, basic introductory type information on my topic. As I scroll down, I can also see the credentials of the author. And this will be very important a little bit later. You have the ability to listen to this in three different accents. Under related items, if you have point, this is an essay where someone is talking in favor of it. Counterpoint is where someone is talking against it. So you can get both views and then decide how you feel about something. All of our databases will have a certain number of tools that are provided. I think the most important tool is Cite so that you will not be accused of plagiarism. This is considered to be a citation generator where the citations have been done for you. But of course, what you need to do is proof them to make sure they're done correctly. So if your instructor said that your paper should be done in MLA, you can see that it has been done for you. This source has been done for you. But once again, you need to proof it. As I close this out, the last thing I want to point out is that over to the left-hand side, you have related information. So if I needed maybe 7 or 8 resources, I could select magazines, and now I will see that I have a number of magazines. I have 168 that I can review to see if they will give me information that I can use. Along with that, I see I have some related images and related video clips that I can watch. So this is points of view. As I close this out, I'm back at my databases page, and now I'm going to opposing viewpoints. This is very similar to points of view. So when it loads up, we will take a look to see what is the, um, the, the issue of interest today. As I scroll down, I could select browse 480 issues. So once again, I have an alphabetical listing of issues. And if I decided I wanted to deal with free trade, simply select it. I have an overview as with points of view. And I could see that I have featured viewpoints and I have the number, academic journal, my number, images, magazine articles, videos, websites. All of this is information that is available on this topic. So this is opposing viewpoints. The last place you may want to go is issues and controversies. Once again, very similar to the others. You can look at what's considered the recent controversies in the carousel. You can select all issues A to Z. And actually, I think that this database provides you with more topics than the other two. A very long listing of topics. So these are the places where you can get a possible topic from. Now, starting with the searching for information, I always like to show students America's News, which is our largest newspaper database. It has over 11,000 sources. So, of course, we can easily do a basic search at the top. If you, once again, you're looking for suggested topics, you could use one of the headings that's listed here or use one of the sources over to the right-hand side. Let's perform a basic search for, and I just use one of the sources I've already used before. Let's try distracted driving. Now, what I want to do is something a little different. I want to enclose this in quotation marks because I do not just want to perform a keyword search. I want these two words to be together when it's performing my searches. So now I click search and I'm waiting to see how many results I actually get. And I want you to keep in mind that performing an advanced search will give you more specific information because as you can see, I have 145,294 results, which is too massive. So one of the ways to narrow this down is I could easily add another term on, or let me just narrow this down a little bit by publication dates. And we're waiting to see how much this narrows it down. And with that filter, I'm still have a loss of 132,000. But let's just take a look at what it provides. So now I have a listing of my citations or my results. The titles of your articles are listed in blue. You have the date. You have the source and where it's located at. You may have the name of the person who wrote the article. You may have the section of the paper, and then we have the reading level. Sometimes you can't tell by actually looking at the title if it will give you something that you need or can use. So you have the ability to get the article preview over to the side. Now, just using my best judgments as I scroll down, I think that I would like to look at this article. So I'm selecting it by title, and now I'm waiting for the full text of the article, which I have now. It's not a very long article. And as you can see, this is my topic. In addition to reading this, you should be able to listen to this. And this has been, we've been trying to troubleshoot this issue for about a month now. We're still working through the issues why it's not working. So hopefully when you try it, it will be. Your tools are located at the very top. And as I move my mouse over each one, you can see what the different tools are. Once again, cite is the most important one. The styles are provided here and it will cite it for you. You have the navigational buttons to go back to your results. You can go to the previous citation or go to the next citation. So if you're looking for information on something that is current in the news, find that a newspaper article is your best bet. We're closing this out. My next category is database collections, and I want to introduce you to TEL, which stands for the Tennessee Electronic Library. Now we have a heading that says multimedia. So you can actually watch one of our YouTube videos on using TEL before you actually use this. The Tennessee Electronic Library has over 60 titles. We will search through all of the titles at one time to find information on distracted driving. The first thing I need to do is click on Select All. Find is my search box. Well, now what I found with this one is that the quotation marks will not make a difference. So, and I think what I want to do is copy this so I don't have to type it in again. So now I'm searching and I'm waiting to see my results from all of the titles in the Tennessee Electronic Library. At the very top where it says showing results for, I have my total number of general magazine articles on the topic. Academic journals are more scholarly type publications. I have books. I have newspaper articles. I have images, and then I have video clips. I could filter through my results by publication date, by subject, by document type. I'm selecting full text, removing any abstracts, removing any citations. Then the numbers did not change very much. So lots of these are full text articles that are provided. Once again, using your best judgment, I can see that I'm trying to find one that I like. Okay, I like this one. The title is in blue. You have your author's name. You have the source that it came from. This is your date. It tells you the number of words. It tells us that this is an article. It's not a book review. It's not an editorial. This is your reading level. It pulls one or two sentences from the article. This is the original database it was found in. So by simply selecting the title, I can now view the full text of this article. I have the Cite tool up at the top. It cites this in MLA 8th, APA 6th, Chicago 17th. Now you can export this out to these tools, but all of these are not free tools for you to use. For our international students, we could translate this into multiple languages. You can increase or decrease the font size. You can listen to this if you're more of an audio type learner. If you have a Gmail account, you can send this to your Google Drive. Using your Southwest credentials, you can send this to the Microsoft OneDrive. You could send this to another email that you may have. And with this icon, you could download this to a USB drive or to your computer. Because for some students, you may not have internet access, but you use Wi-Fi at somebody else's home. So what you can do is get onto the Wi-Fi system, perform all of your searches, download your information to a USB drive, and then when you go home, you still have access to your information and you can complete your assignments. Now, there's a tool that says highlights and notes, which I want to demonstrate to you now. As you're reading through the article, you're looking for information that you know that you want to use, not that you're going to copy and paste this as though you've written it, but you want to get ideas from it. So as I'm reading through this, let's say that I like this. So I'm using my mouse to highlight it. And when I release my mouse, I see highlight, notes, and define. If I select highlight, I could choose a color of my choice and highlight it. I could continue reading through the article. There is something here that I like, and I go through the same process. And what is happening is keeping track of the things that I had highlighted. And if I would like, I can download just the highlighted sections only and not the entire articles. You have explore more articles like this, and then you have related subject headings also. So what I need you to keep in mind is that I fully understand that you may feel very comfortable using popular search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo. I need you to understand that as a college student, your college professors are expecting more from you than just performing a Google search. They're looking for authoritative, credible, and scholarly type information. And you may not always get that from Google, or it may be hard for you to filter through all the information that you're given in order to find that type of information. Our databases will save you lots of time, and there are lots of great tools to make it a better experience for you. So this is TAIL. I want you to know that ProQuest Central is very similar to TAIL. Next, I'm going to electronic books. I want you to see Net Library first. This collection has over 265,000 books. You're able to view the entire books. So we're searching for distracted driving, and I have 5. If I like the first one, I would just simply, well, let me go through the citation. You have the title, you have your author's name and publishing information, and you have a picture of the book. If I select this title, the next page will show me the different tools that I have access to. I have a description of the book. And over to the left-hand side, if I select PDF full text, this loads the book up for me. Okay, so my table of contents shows up over to the left-hand side, so I could go to a certain chapter. You have your tools across the top. This is the cover of the book. In order to go through the entire book, I could use my scroll bar on the side to go from one page to the other, or I could use my navigational arrows to go from left to right, and then I could use the tools down at the very bottom. So this is Net Library. Now we have other ebooks collections here also. So now we're going to Credo Reference, which has a collection of over 1,000 different reference books. So if I perform my search for distracted driving here, what it provides me with is information on my topic pool from these various books. So I have 133 results. All of them will not be something that I can use. So what I would like to do is select this one, Texting While Driving Laws. So this is the information coming from this source, the Encyclopedia of Criminal Justice Ethics. These are the tools I have across the top. These are some related searches I can perform. I'm closing this. Back at my listing of databases, let's go to the category of periodicals. Under periodicals, I want you to see Reader's Guide Full Text, and we will perform our search. Now, what I wanted you to see about this one is that I have 91 results, but everything is not full text in this particular database. So under Limit 2, I'm selecting full text. And you see, we're down to 25. This is still a decent amount. You have your titles, you have your author's name and the source that it came from. You have different subject headings that you may want to use to find additional type of information. And if we selected PDF full text, I can see the article, the way it looked when it was scanned from this publication. Okay. And you can see it's not very large, but this is the way that it actually looked. This is the article here. You have tools across over to the side that we can use, and other articles that appeared in this particular issue of Motor Trends are available here for me to access also. So this is Reader's Guides Full Text. The last category that we're going to look at to search for information will be multimedia, especially if you're more of a visual type person. The Master Academic Collection has over 41,000 titles. We're about to surpass this in just a moment. So we're looking for distracted driving. I have 158 results and they're still loading. So let me just wait a little bit. If I wanted to watch the video, I would just simply select the title. This queues it up for me. Over to the right-hand side, I can look at the full transcript if I was like. I can view it in its entirety, which is 20 minutes and 15 seconds. You could view the closed captioning, or I can make this full screen. You can look at a description of it, and then there are tags that may direct you to additional type of information. As I close this out, I want you to know that the Academic Video Online Premiere has over 77,000 titles and featured films for education. If you want to just take a break and watch a movie, you could do it from this particular database. What I suggest you do is you simply go to the menu and click on Browse All Titles so that you can get a better view of the type of movies that are actually here. And as you can see, my computer's running just a tad bit slow, but you have an alphabetical list of movies that you can watch. Now, I think that you should have a good idea of how to search for information for your topics. We have some tools that will help you with writing your paper. So I am going up to the category of grammar. And let me just point out that earlier on, I told you that a librarian was actually online. This is a proactive widget, so if by chance you were having problems, you could easily contact the librarian from this page. As I expand grammar, I'm going directly to recommended websites, and I want to point out that if you need to cite various things like a internet page or information or maybe a video or of poetry, something like that, you have these other citation tools that will help you with that. We have something that will help you with essay writing. We created this one entitled Research Help, but I want you to see the thesis builder because creating a strong thesis statement is always important to let the reader know what your paper is about. So what you would just simply need to do is to populate this chart by answering what is the topic you want to write about? What's your main opinion on the topic? What's the strongest argument supporting your opinion? What's a second good argument that supports your opinion? And if you're not writing a persuasive paper, change this to what is a third good argument that supports your opinion. Create a title, and if you select Build a Thesis, based upon what you have placed here, it will generate a thesis statement for you. If you don't like the statement, simply take the format that it has created for you and revise it. It is not plagiarism as long as you don't copy and paste something directly from a source into this chart. Make an online outline will place everything in outline format for you so you can stay on target when you're writing your paper. It would also give you suggestions of how to build up each section of your paper. If by chance you are working on a comparison contrast paper, the thesis statement generator will help you with that. And if by chance you sometimes procrastinate, the assignment calculator will help you stay on course for that. Now, when you have written your first draft, I suggest you go to Grammarly. And I just want to point out right now that we have been having some problems with Grammarly today. So it is down right now, but that doesn't mean that it will be down when you try to use it. Grammarly is a software that will proof your papers for grammatical errors, spelling errors, and also plagiarism if you would like it to. In order for you to have access to the premium version of Grammarly, you would need to register by providing your name. You must use your Southwest email and then it asks you for a password. When you select sign up, an email goes to your Southwest email and you have to complete the validation process there and wait for your welcome message. So You will copy and paste whatever you have written into Grammarly, and Grammarly will proof it and give you the number of alerts that it finds. The alerts are the problems. So it will give you a way to correct that alert. It will give you information on why it was a problem, or you can just simply dismiss it. But it will kind of give you a numerical grade of how well you have done. And as you make the changes to those alerts, you'll see your score is actually improving. After you have an account, it will weekly send you tidbits of information on how to help you improve your writing skills, and it'll kind of compare your writing against others who have accounts in Grammarly. I also want to point out that you can also work with a tutor in the Academic Support Center, and you can also use online tutoring to have someone to proof your papers for you. We have over 200 titles currently that can help you with any assignment that you have. I'm going back to the library's homepage. Now, before I show you our discovery service, I want to quickly talk about information literacy. Information literacy is knowing when you need information, the ability to locate it, evaluating that information, and then using it. So there's some techniques you would go through. So I want you to think about an assignment you recently had, okay? The first technique tells you to ask questions to make sure you fully understand the assignment. It is not about asking a classmate, but asking the instructor. The second thing you should do is start thinking about the different places where you can get help to work on this assignment. Is there something in your textbook? Can you use an encyclopedia? Can you watch a video? Sometimes the first place you go will not yield the results you're looking for, so you need to have other options. The third thing is what I've been trying to help you with thus far, locating your information and not waiting until the last minute. The fourth item tells you to always evaluate your information. Don't give the instructor the first thing that you find, but evaluate it to see how dated it is, to see the credentials of the author, like I pointed out with points of view, to look closely at the source that you've used. The fifth item tells you to complete the assignment, which means don't wait until the last minute. So what I suggest you do is you complete your assignments early. You place it to the side and you come back maybe a day later and review it with fresh eyes. The last step is just a step of reflection. Think about the entire process. If there's anything you notice you possibly could have done differently, start doing that going forward and just always be in the mode of self-improvement. Now, I know that you all like that Google experience. So with our discovery service, it will allow you to make one search and it pulls all of your information together for you, just like Google. It's pulling together our print resources and all of our electronic resources. And as you can see, I have a massive number. So I want to narrow this down a little bit. Over to the left-hand side where it says refine your search. I am selecting full text online, which is removing any print resources. Under content type, I'm selecting magazine articles. Under publication date, I'm selecting the last 12 months. So now I have my results, 279, and then I have some related topics I can select from over to the side. So once again, using your best judgment, select one that you think will give you something that you can use. So I have my title, I have the author's name, I have the source and the date, one sentence pulled from it. These are my tools over to the side. Now, sometimes students get confused by thinking cite this item will actually cite the article. It's only citing the source. If you needed to cite this article, what you need to do is select it by clicking on the title, waiting until the article actually appears, and look for a cite button there, which is here. So don't get confused with that. I'm back at the library's homepage, and now I just want to wrap up by talking about how can you get help later on. You may want to get help from going to our YouTube channel and watching one of our videos that we have created that will show you how to use certain things. So if by chance you're having problems with pause, you may want to look at this Brightspace video or look at some of the individual pause videos that we have. I am going back. Next, I'm going to Ask a Librarian. On the Ask a Librarian, these are the different ways you can get assistance. Requests for research coaches listed. So if you would like a librarian to work with you individually, simply complete this form letting us know what is a good time, and a librarian will reach back out to you. Now, we will help you with the bulleted items only. We will not proof any papers for you. This could be done by telephone or a session similar to this one. Ref Chatter, remember this is where you have librarians who are online answering questions. These are the hours of operation. And just let me point out, this is not about you sending us questions, expecting us to give you all of the answers. We will direct you to where you need to go to find the answers yourself. You can use this number to send us a text message. These are the hours of operation. If you happen to send a message after we have logged off, the text will stay parked until we are logged back on, and then we will actually see it and respond. You could chat with us through our Facebook page. Using the telephone numbers, we have staff members who are responding to any messages that are left. We have librarians that are embedded in all of the online classes. So if you go to your class list, look for Ask a Librarian and you can ask us questions there. Vanguard is a software that will allow us to remote out to your computers. This is our departmental email that several of us are monitoring throughout the day. And if you can't think of another way to contact us, please use Report a Problem and we will definitely respond back to you. Okay, I'm back at the library's homepage, and I am not reviewing CyberCAD because this will lead you to a lots of print resources. So I don't think that is something that you will be necessary for you to view right now. I hope that I've covered everything that will help you feel comfortable using our resources if you are trying to work on a research paper or a speech. Keep in mind that you can always go to Ask a Librarian and ask us questions there. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep in mind that I would suggest that you view this on full screen option in order to get the best viewing possible. Thank you so much.